So this is my agenda. So I run over this really quickly, and then we can sort of work within that. First of all, I said start recording, and I've done that. So what I'm going to first of all ask our co-presenters to do, Kevin and Ebony, is to tell us a little bit about what the current situation is in Cuba and how it affects the travel. I figure we get that out of the way right away. Now I'll speak a little bit about forms, just what forms to bring, because that seems to be on everybody's mind, and then what to expect in Miami on arrival, and in Havana, and also in Camagüey. I'll ask Ebony to talk a little bit about how she's going to meet us in Havana, and Kevin how he's going to meet a couple of our participants in Camagüey and then get us back. Then we'll ask Kevin a little bit about the boat, and then the ideas he has there. And then we'll have Ebony talk to us a bit about how the Havana tour is going to run. And then I thought we'd talk about some incidentals like flight departures out of Richmond and Columbus, stay, park, and fly hotels, if you're interested in doing that as a group. And we can also talk about the WhatsApp group, if we want to set up a WhatsApp group so we have group communication, share photos and comments. And then we'd have free time at the end to talk about any other comments or questions or thoughts that you have. Now, if you do have a question that's pertinent to the discussion that we're having, please raise it. If you see it's going to be, we're going to get to it in a little bit, try to hold it so we can sort of move along. Are there any questions at this point that people want to voice? No? Ebony, I wanted to make you a co-host. Do you have anything that you want to share from your computer, or are you just going to do it verbally? Can you hear me, Ebony?
I'm just trying to figure out the sound is coming out of my MacBook rather than my headphones, and I can't hear you at all. So if you could just give me 2 minutes to
Oh yeah,
try,
sure.
and I'm not a
Okay.
very techie person. I'm just trying
Okay.
to figure out how to fix this.
We can hear you fine.
Yeah.
Okay, that's one good thing. I can't hear anything.
Can you hear it? Testing, 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 Ebony.
Mm. Oh dear.
Well, Ebony is getting her sound up and running. Why don't we invite Kevin Purdy with All Star Liveaboards and representing Avalon 3 to give us a little discussion about what his viewpoint is with respect to the current situation of Cuba, general safety tips. And I understand, Kevin, you've had a couple of folks on your boat now that did an Havana tour in the last week.
So we had a group from Indiana just returned home this past weekend. Got off the boat and returned home. They did similar itineraries, so doing Havana before, and then hopping, transfer down to Hukro and then flying out through Camagüey. So yeah, they had an amazing trip. I haven't been able to chat with all of them. I know some were dealing with the flight delays from the weather the past weekend, and supposed to everybody be getting home, I think, tonight. So, but yeah, from those that I have heard from, they all had a great trip. No issues, no concerns. So yeah, everything went off without a hitch. So.
I shared with the group the comments that you made to me via email last week. So they've all seen that, but do you have anything that you want to add or with respect to that what the current situation might be?
Okay, that's better. I can hear you now.
Okay.
Oh gosh, thank you all so much for your patience. That was quite maddening.
Okay, Ebony, we've got Kevin. He's giving us a little bit of discussion about a group that was just down there on his boat. So let's go ahead and let him
Yeah.
talk about that, and then we'll get to you and your comments.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, they had a great experience. There was I know obviously they had some concerns beforehand, but everybody who I have, kind of been in touch with has said that it was a great trip all around. They had great dive conditions, so uh, all the usual suspects, all the silky sharks and reef sharks about, Goliath groupers, and um, yeah, just an overall great trip. I know a couple of them are already trying to plan a trip back in the future with other friends. So I think that, kind of tells you something if they're comfortable enough returning, what the conditions are
Okay.
like there. So
No issues with respect to transportation in and
no,
out, and anything locally or whatnot. And
no. So, as far as anything goes, the fuel, everything like that is sourced from Mexico for Avalon. And provisioning everything is, no issues on that front. So yeah, it's kind of business as usual.
okay. Ebony, do you have anything to add from your standpoint? How you see the things that are in Havana? I know you were just down there, were you not?
I live here full time. And I just want to say that I understand everyone's worries because what emerges in the news is really does not paint a very nice picture. But if the news doesn't reflect really what's happening here. At the moment, I'm in a hotel lobby and it's full of people and there's a band playing. I just had two dive groups back to back. Diver Supply from Indiana and Beaver Divers from Colorado. And they were going down to Jupiter as well with Avalon. And they had a wonderful time. We were celebrating two milestone birthdays. We had a 60th birthday party and a 75th birthday party. And of course, he was going through a hard time, and there are blackouts, and for people that there are fuel supplies, but everyone is also still really giving their all in various activities that we do. People are still welcoming tourists with open arms, and they're very much like tourism is so important here. Um, there's still a lot of joy. There's still so much movement and color. And let's say, for instance, the day you arrive, we have a cocktail class that's on this old fortress with a fantastic view of the bay. And the combination of history and culture and cocktails and mocktails. And you have a really great itinerary. And I just want to assure you that you will be safe, you will have fun, and you'll be very much looked after. I will be looking after you.
Right. Does
Evan,
anybody have any particular questions? David, go ahead.
yeah, are we staying at the hotel that was originally, that was originally in all the documents?
We were staying in the last hotel. So that's a privately run boutique hotel that's on the water. It looks over the Bay of Havana. And it's really cute for the place. It's a little cafe and a shop downstairs. You have a beautiful rooftop where you'll have your breakfast every morning. And the rooms are really comfortable.
So it's not the taller modern hotel that we saw in the original documents?
No, essentially, in Trump's first administration, he had put various hotels on a blacklist because all hotels here are either completely owned by the Cuban government or they're running in conjunction with a foreign hotel chain, but the Cuban government has the controlling share of 51%. So all of those hotels were put on this blacklist that meant that Americans couldn't stay in them. But
Right.
the hotel that we were going to be staying in had a loophole because that was built and opened after the publication of the blacklist. So as the years have gone on, that's now been put on the list as well. So we've pushed out the accommodation.
No
But I don't
worries.
think you'll find any reduction in comfort.
Does the hotel have, because you read about blackouts and then disruption in water service, does the hotel have generators to,
You like have a generator. You'll, and it's also on the part of town. So Havana has, of course, different municipalities. In Old Havana, which is where you'll be staying, they don't have blackouts because the electricity, the wires go underground. I'm not
okay,
exactly sure why it makes it so that it's hard for them to turn it off, but they don't turn it off. But Loft also has a generator just in case. So you
okay.
wouldn't even notice the electricity. It would switch from one to the other seamlessly.
Good.
Let me interject here. Ebony sent me an updated itinerary, which we have loaded up to the website. So if you were to go to, connecteddiving.com and click on travel, then to the trip, you'll pull up the trip flyer and the link in there that says itinerary, or it says custom Latin travel or Havana tour. You'll have the current itinerary with the name of the place we're going to stay, its address, and that sort of stuff, as well as the new chain of events in terms of how we've organized the tours. So that's all there available. You can grab it right now if you wanted to, if you can do that secondarily.
So that's under the Discover Havana link, that's what's current?
Yes, let me get there to be sure that
Oh, yeah, it is. Okay, it looks like it, because that's different than what I've seen before. Okay,
okay.
got it.
So, oops, let me get to where I need to get to. So
The itinerary is the same. It's just been some of the activities have been moved from one day to another.
so here's I'm just clicking through, and then you click on the Discover Havana or either one down below, and you'll get the current situation. And I think down here, there's some more just general information, and there's also information about arrival in Cuba, and the hotel is down here too.
Loft Havana.
Yeah, Loft
Mhm.
Havana.
Got
Okay.
it. Okay, great.
Okay. Any other questions that come to mind at this moment? We'll be talking about the tour as well when we get a little later in the discussion. But
I welcome all questions. Nothing is too silly.
Well, I mean, just in general, I've got questions about the amount of cash. Something I read said $70 per person per day. I assume that was for the Havana portion. Is it the same or how much should we plan on for the guy, the boat gratuities and everything else? Just for a couple, how much cash should we be bringing?
yeah, Dave and Kathy and everybody included. If you look at the flyer, it says included is the gratuities on the tour guide and
Right.
the bus. So that takes a chunk out of it that we will be handling. Dive Connections will be handling. Okay, so we really have just a tip on board that I think maybe Kevin could answer. Could you give us a guideline there, Kevin?
Sure. So, I mean, our general recommendation, 10, 15% of the trip cost is kind of the general recommendation. Credit cards are not able to be used, so it
But
does
we don't
have
know what the trip cost is
Yeah,
for the dive portion of it.
Got it.
the dive portion of it is about $4,000
Yeah.
per person, and so
Gotcha.
you're looking at $400 to $600 would be your 10 to 15%
Gotcha.
range
Okay.
per
Thank
person.
you.
Okay, there's
And
not
US
much.
dollar is fine. There's no need to exchange it or anything like that.
And $100 bills are okay for that
Yep.
portion?
I mean, preferably good quality, like crisp bills, not, rips, tears, tattered, torn.
Yeah.
But otherwise, yes, that's fine.
Okay.
All right, now, Ebony, if the guide and the bus driver's tips are already included by Dive Connections, what would your assessment be of what people might need for dinner on Friday night, miscellaneous tips and cigars and that sort of stuff?
Well, I would probably say for dinner, maybe 30 per person. It's not an overly expensive city to eat out in. I'm just looking through our itinerary. Um, and so say for instance we have do you with Live Connections, Chip, do you cover all tips for any guides we encounter? I say for instance the guides on our walking tour, or is that something else?
Hi, I just wanted to chime in here. This is
Sure,
Jocelyn
Jocelyn.
as well. Hi, Chip. Nice
Sure.
to talk to you. Nice to hear your voice. Yeah, we usually have all the tips that are included for specialist guides, for the walking tour guides, etc. But if anybody feels that they would like to do anything extra, they can so do that, and that can be $5 or something like that. But that's definitely not expected on the
All right.
extra guides. Mhm.
Okay, I've got a good sense of it. Thanks.
So I think all in what we were saying is if you figured like $1,000 a person cash,
Yeah. Yep.
that you probably ought to have enough to cover. Would that sound all right to you, Jocelyn and Ebony?
Yeah, to me that sounds high for the component for the Havana part.
Well,
I think a
that would
little
include that would include the boat too, which is $400 to $600.
sure. Yeah. Then I think that's a great amount, and I think it's
Yep.
always good to bring more cash than less. You can always bring it home.
Yep.
Okay.
So talking about that bringing more than less, I understood there's like a $5,000 cap on cash you can take. Is that right? Did I read
Yeah,
that someplace? That
for,
you can
for
bring
the
into
amount of cash
Cuba.
that you can bring in. Mhm.
That's what I read in that thing released from the U.S. Embassy in Havana, that anything under 5,000 would be probably okay, no problem. If over that, you need to make sure you make a special declaration. So I'm going to definitely keep myself under that, but I'll have some extra money too in case if we have any issues.
Of course, that would be per person as well, not.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
I don't know her. So.
Okay, any other questions at this point? I'll ask Ebony to talk about how she's going to meet us in Havana, and then anything she might want to talk about with respect to the tours. Are you there, Ebony?
Oh yes, sorry. I thought we were waiting for more possible questions.
Well, no one's chimed up, so let's go ahead. How are you going to meet us in Havana so people know what to look for?
I'll be meeting you at the airport with a sign. Well, I was going to have Chip Earl. Should I have a different sign?
Dive Connections
Dive
is fine, but
Connections.
would be the best way to go about doing it. But I'm sure most people will know who I am. So
Perfect. Well, I'll be meeting you at the airport with your Dive Connection sign, and then we'll go straight to Revolution Square. I'll talk to you about that. We'll have a light lunch in Old Havana, and then we'll check into our rooms at Loft. Once everyone's settled in, then we'll head to our cocktail class that's on the in a beautiful old fortress, and the lady that gives the class is just so engaging. She's very, very highly educated, and she worked as an interpreter for many years, and she's great fun and is a great storyteller. And then from there, we go to this gorgeous restaurant back across the bay in the center of Old Havana. Has, wonderful decor, great food, great atmosphere. It has live music as well. Then the following day, we have our walking tour. Sorry, 1 second. We have a walking tour with two local guides. Because of the size of the group, we'll split into two. We'll both be going around the squares at the same time, but just so everyone can hear clearly and get all of their questions answered. Then we will have lunch in one of the most established restaurants in Havana. It's a restaurant that a little old lady used to supply lunch for all of the workers in this one square back in the day. And she was really well known as being a wonderful person, a fantastic cook. And so the restaurant is called after her. And it's a great example of traditional Cuban cooking. Lovely, generous portions. Then we'll be going to visit Ernest Hemingway's house. That's about 20 minutes outside of the city. He lived here for 20 years and has a very interesting story. And his house and grounds are great to look around. He also has his yacht, the Pilar, that's there as part of the museum. Then we will have a ride in these little things called cocoa taxis, which I guess you could compare them to tuk-tuks, but they're marvelous fun. And we'll be driven from our accommodation to our cigars, rum, and music experience. I know that not everyone will be interested in smoking cigars, but the experience is so much more than that. It's in this classic colonial house in Centro Havana, and you'll learn all about the history and the culture of cigars, the art that goes into them. You'll have a rum pairing should you wish to avail of it, and then a really amazing musician. We can play dominoes there as well, and it's just like hanging out at someone's house having a little party, and it's not to be missed. Then we will have dinner at a restaurant called Grados, where the chef, he aims to marry traditional Cuban cooking with modern flavors and modern twist. It's in his mother's home, in a beautiful little garden atmosphere. Then the next day we will be going to a foundation called the Antonio Nunez Jimenez Foundation, and that's fascinating. This one man has amassed a collection of all of the to do with the nature of Cuba, land records. He had gone on this canoe trip all through the Amazon and around the islands, and he's one of the largest private collections of to do with nature and history in Cuba. We'll have a guided tour there. Then we'll be going to a neighborhood called Marianao to see a dance troupe. So they had started off as a flamenco company, and then a man called Eduardo Cordova had joined the troupe, and he was a percussionist. So then they ended up doing a blend of the Spanish flavors of the flamenco dancing, marrying that with the Afro-Cuban percussion with the drums, and it's a completely unique performance experience. John Bon Jovi's been to see them, Mick Jagger's been to see them, and now they will have the pleasure of Dive Connections. After that, we will go to this artistic neighborhood. So this man, Jose Fuster, he was an artist, a sculptor, and a painter, and he it's like Cuba's answer to Gaudi, essentially. In the 1990s, after the collapse of the Soviet Union, he wanted to bring joy and color to his neighborhood in what was a difficult time. So he started putting mosaics on the outside wall of his property. And then his neighbors liked what he was doing. They asked him to put mosaics on their houses as well. And now there's over 50 houses in the neighborhood that have mosaics on them in some form or another. And we'll have lunch in the artist's home. And that's a spectacle all in its own right. From there, we'll be picked up by classic cars, and we will be driven in these 1950 Chevrolets over to a garage, as the Americans would say. I'm Irish, by the way, so I would say garage. We'll be meeting Julio. Julio is part of a husband-wife team, and they were one of the first entrepreneurs in Cuba to work in the private sector. So they had opened they started working as the private individuals in 2011, because before 2011 that was not allowed. Everyone had to work for the state, and he has a really fascinating story. He's grown his business from having one car to having over 16 cars. He has 18 employees now. He was invited to speak at the White House, and he's as well there's a theme running through what I'm saying. I was about to say he's an excellent storyteller, but that's true of many Cubans. And so he's one of my favorite things to go to. It's just really informative, and it's a unique perspective on this emerging private sector in Cuba. And then we'll finish that day with a concert, a private concert with a bassist called David Faya. He'll be coming with his quartet, and they'll be giving us a concert on the rooftop of Loft where we're staying. And so it's got lots of art and music and history and cocktails. And we're flexible as well. We can always incorporate, if anyone has thought, oh, when I'm in Havana, I'd love to see X thing, please do tell me, and we'll try and fit it in.
Okay. Any questions with respect to the tour at this point?
Yeah, I got a quick question.
Sure.
Just thinking about communications back to the U.S. What's the situation going to be while we're there for
you have Wi-Fi in your hotel.
Okay, we can use like a WhatsApp or something, I guess, through the Wi-Fi.
Yes, WhatsApp is brilliant. I would definitely recommend WhatsApp. The whole country runs on WhatsApp.
Okay.
Having never used WhatsApp, I mean, can you just text?
You can. You can text like iMessages. You won't be able to, unless you have a plan that allows your phone to work here in Cuba.
And it's very expensive.
But I mean, I'm
It
just
will
saying
be.
with the Wi-Fi, you can send iMessages.
Yes, you
Yeah.
can.
Okay.
And email and everything. You can. It'll be the same as it would be at home in the States, just probably not quite as fast.
Right.
And Dave, if you want to pop in, we can give you a crash course on WhatsApp. Super easy.
Okay. Yeah, I might do that.
Okay, I was might as well bring it up here now as you've asked the WhatsApp question. I was planning on setting up a WhatsApp group with everybody's phone number or email in it if nobody has an objection. But this will allow us to send out a blast, and everybody will get it right away wherever we are. So very instantaneous. You should be able to go from there and pick out individuals and create a separate private cabinet if you want to do that. It also provides a ability where if you want to upload photos from your phone to it, everybody would get a chance to see that photo and pass on comments on the trip and that sort of stuff. So unless anybody has any objections, if you do have objections, let me know and I won't put you on there. But if you don't, I'll go ahead and create it with everybody on board.
But our access to WhatsApp while we're there will be limited to places where we have Wi-Fi.
Yes,
This is true, but
unless
it's still very handy.
Is there any, once we're headed toward the boat, is there any Wi-Fi on the boat?
No, not really. I mean, they'll say there's a connection when you're near the kind of headquarters within Gardens of the Queen. But I can tell you, with everybody trying to tap in, every now and then I might have gotten a WhatsApp message that comes through, or like a news alert, something that pushed through, but I've never been able to get any kind of communication out, or there's no texting back and forth, there's no phone calls.
Right, no worries.
You're disconnected basically. So,
but in case of emergency, have we been given a place for someone in the U.S. who needs to contact us?
So that would be
contact us through the boat.
Yeah, contacting our office here.
Okay.
And then those phone numbers are on the boarding pass for our office as well as for the operations team in Havana. So
gotcha.
For the boat. So
I will get out an email and put that in the email as well. The emergency contacts for folks at home. Okay, I'll make it. I just made a note of that. Okay. All right. Well, that's great, Ebony. Kevin, do you have anything about the boat and things that we'll be doing on the boat that might be helpful?
Yeah, I mean the diving. I'm not sure how many of y'all have been out with us in Bahamas, but it's pretty easy going diving. You're not diving from the main ship though, like we do in the Bahamas. This is tender diving. So it's usually from where we moor the boat up inside the mangrove kind of channels inside there. It's super calm, protected, great conditions. It's usually about a 10-minute drive or so to get to the dive sites. So your gear is going to be set up. It'll be out on the tender. They're going to fill your tanks, so there's no need to, set up breakdown in between each dive. But generally, the plan is you hop on the tender, you head out, and you do a 2 tank dive in the morning. In between your dives, you'll probably go to a beach or maybe drive through the mangroves. You can see the birds and hootia running around, and other wildlife. And then after your second dive, you go back to the ship for lunch. They have everything on the boats. They're not like small inflatables. They're bigger, either center console style or, a larger ship. So there's, drinks, snacks. They usually have some fruit and things like that on board. After you go back for lunch, you'll either go out for 2 afternoon dives or one afternoon dive and then the night dive later on, which we usually do, 1 to 2 night dives per week.
Depth profiles typically.
Yeah, so dive sites vary quite a bit. The majority of them, I would say, are in the 30 to 60 foot range. There's a few of them where it's more of like a sloping wall that'll drop off, and you might get down to 90, but there's not really much of a need to go beyond that. The silkies are up at the surface. The reef sharks are typically down toward the bottom. Same with the Goliath groupers down, more toward the bottom. Tarpon are often under ledges on the reefs, 50 foot, 60 foot range.
And
So yeah,
we're all nitrox.
Yes, most of us.
Yes.
Okay.
Most of you are all on nitrox. If you're qualified, you wanted to, I put it on the manifest, so
Yep.
everybody will have it.
Good.
What water temp and mill range would you suggest?
So I don't like to recommend wetsuit thickness, but water temps are typically 80 plus. You might get down this time of year to like 78 or so, 79, but it stays pretty warm down there year round. So for me that would be 3 mil would be fine, if not even a rash guard. So
I've only done one other liveaboard. It was in Palau, and they gave us satellite beacons that we had to wear, emergency.
right.
I'm guessing we're close to land. I mean, it was some pretty aggressive currents and things like that. Do you do anything like that?
Exactly. So we do a similar thing in Egypt on our liveaboard there, where you have higher currents, and the dive sites that we're doing there in Egypt are more offshore pinnacles or islands where it's walls. There is not heavy current by any means in the marine park there.
Good.
The conditions are pretty easy diving, great visibility. So yeah, there's not really a need for a beacon or anything like that.
Know what you have.
So on the boat in the overnight hours, is power available? And
Yeah. I mean, there's power, generator on board, so it's 24 hours a day powered up. Obviously, same as any boats, we always recommend, if you're charging something, you be in the cabin with your stuff while you're charging, or have it in a common area space where it's being monitored. But yeah, no issue with that.
And that's like US current?
You're probably going to want to bring an outlet adapter. I'm not sure what the outlets are in the loft hotel.
In Havana, it's the same as the US.
Okay, so there you go. Yeah.
And on the boat, it's US, same as US, yeah.
Correct.
Okay, now Kevin, you're going to be meeting two of our folks, one of which is on this call
Mhm.
in Camagüey and on the
Okay.
21st. So you might mention a
Yep,
little bit about
absolutely.
that, how they would identify you.
Yeah, so Camagüey Airport is fairly small. You're going to go out through baggage claim, once you collect your bags from there, go to head outside. There will be drivers outside with a clipboard, and you can just go out there, chat with them, and tell them that you're joining Avalon, and then they'll, kind of the dispatcher, if you will get you with the correct driver to then get you transferred down to Hukro, which is usually about a 3 hour stop, 3 hour drive. We do occasionally have folks that if you tell your driver that you want to stop and get a bottle of rum or some cigars or anything like that, they can stop somewhere and you can, go pick those up on the way down. But yeah, otherwise about 3 hours.
So go specifically to the dispatcher and he
Yep.
will arrange it for us.
Exactly. Let them know you're joining. Yeah, you're going out on Avalon, and they'll have the clipboard with your name on it and get you underway. So
Okay. Now, Ebony, you're going to provide the transportation for the rest of the group from Havana down to Camagüey, to Júcar, right?
Yes.
And so that's our, any questions about that aspect of the trip from anybody on the call? How long will it take roughly?
It's quite long. It takes about between 6 and 7 hours.
Oh, okay. So we'll have drinks and snacks on board, and we have a chance to stop for bathroom breaks and stuff like that.
Yes, there's no problem stopping. The driver will stop and you can have lunch en route and stretch your legs and use the bathroom. And you can stop
Okay.
more than once, of course.
Sounds
Okay.
like we definitely need some bottles of rum for that trip.
Okay, and then Kevin's going to take us all back to Camagüey as a group, because all of us will be going back at the same time, with the exception of Robin, who's going to go back to Havana, and Ebony will see that she gets to the Havana airport on, I guess that would be on the Saturday, the 21st.
Yes, perfect. No
Okay,
problem.
great. All right. Any other questions for Kevin or Ebony at this point?
Kevin, one question about night diving.
Mhm.
I thought I saw in your FAQs, excuse me, about chem lights or other sort of lighting device. I assume you're talking about a tank light.
Yeah, if you have anytime you're night diving, having a backup light of some sort or a tank light is always recommended. Just in the event that your one goes out, you have a secondary, or if you get separated, you have that tank light, to kind of try and get back together with your buddy or with the group. So,
Well, generally, I usually carry two lights. Is that adequate without adding a tank light?
yeah, I oftentimes I'll dive. I have my camera set up, and my video lights are,
Sure.
my two lights. So.
Okay. The only other question my wife and I had to do with what's surface temperatures like right about now?
The weather on while you're on the boat, will we need sweatshirts or whatever?
Yeah, so I always recommend, especially in winter months, to bring sweatshirts, just because in the winter you do typically have slightly higher wind. But after you're doing 4 dives in a day, your body temp can begin to drop over time. And so even if it's warm outside, you can still get a little chilly. So it's always nice to have a fleece or, some kind of sweatshirt to put on.
Okay.
We're in
Thank
a
you.
cold front now in Havana. I'm wearing a woolly sweater.
Has anyone done the chikungunya vaccine? Or I looked into it. And it seems like it's more of a pain in the neck and $600 and a
Yeah.
person.
Did I? This was definitely a problem before Christmas. But now nobody talks about it anymore. It seems to have just died off completely. I don't know if it's a case of herd immunity or all of the mosquitoes have just retired for the winter. But I don't think it needs to be something that you need to be concerned about at
Wasn't
this
planning on
moment in
doing
time.
it at this point.
Yeah.
This is Chuck and Lisa. We're going to get ours tomorrow morning, and we're able to get them for $300 a pop. And I think the biggest thing we've seen, and for people we know in Cuba, is that if you're 65 and older, which we're pressing the threshold of that. We're not quite 65, but we're going to get ours tomorrow morning at the health department in Harrisonburg.
In Harrisonburg, okay, because in Charlottesville there's only one place. It's Passport Health, and they said 600, no questions asked, and we'll give you a form for your insurance company.
Yeah, that's it. I think the biggest thing we've seen, if you get it and you're over 65, it's pretty brutal. So we're and we don't take vaccines very often, but we are going to do it.
Well, one of us is over 65, but
that's your business. But I will add too, if you haven't already scheduled it and planned it, it's moot. You're not gonna get it.
Because like Passport Health, they said you could come in anytime and get it.
Yeah.
Here
For $600, yeah. Imagine.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a question about food. Can I bring nuts into the country?
Yes, of course. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you.
I can assure you, you're not going to go hungry. You're going to have way more than you could possibly eat. But if you do want to have some snacks, please bring anything that you'd like.
Is the customs experience both in and out similar to other Caribbean islands? It's not.
It's really quite relaxed. Cubans in general are very relaxed. I first came to Cuba in 2006, and the thought of going into like communism, I was really worried going towards like the immigration booth. But they're just very chilled people. So when you get here, you go through immigration. You might have a little bit of a line. They just look at your passport. They take a photograph of you, and then you go through security, which again is just. I think you might have to take out your laptop, but that's the only thing really. And then you go to get your bag on the baggage claim. That can be a bit of a wait, but sometimes not so much. And then once you go out, then I'll be there waiting with the sign. And then when you're in Camagüey, I haven't been to that airport, but if it's anything like Havana, same story. You go back through, you check in, go through immigration again, security, and then it's just a small waiting area that you don't have to worry about going off down, 10 minutes away to find your gate.
When you come back into the US and you're going through customs, I know Chip's got the documents and everything pulled up. You have the Blue Sanctuary Workshop certificate that you're going to have that qualifies you for the program on Avalon. You also have the travel affidavit. Generally, they're not even going to ask you to see those. US Customs doesn't really care. But it's just something that you have to, hang on to, keep those documents. And so they'll probably ask you, did you buy anything? And, unfortunately, you're not allowed to bring back any rum or cigars at the moment. But yeah, that's kind of the process of coming back.
No
to
problem
the
with
US.
like T-shirts and hats and other
No.
souvenir type stuff.
No, it's just the rum and cigars.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are most people going to be having like 2 bags, one for our dive gear, one for regular, and
We share a big dive bag, and we'll probably have one big packed bag and one rollerboard.
Who asked that question? I'm sorry.
just I guess concerned about the
Lacey,
van
okay.
portion arriving with a lot of luggage because we'll have our dive gear and our regular luggage as well.
Well, once you arrive in Havana, we have the big carts that you can put your luggage on, and then you'll be getting on a bus which has ample room, so you can go wild, Lacey.
I packed small, but just checking.
But the bags will all be taken care of prior to us checking in. It sounds like we're doing some things prior to checking in.
What's that? I'm boarding in Columbus and meeting you guys in Miami.
Okay.
Yeah, you should be able to check everything straight on through, I would think, unless Ebony or Kevin knows something different.
Mhm.
No.
Just check your luggage through from where we're departing from Columbus and Richmond, going through Miami, but we can just check all the way through, can't we? We have to pick things up again in Havana in Miami and then recheck for the Cuban flight.
Are you all flying? Is it all with the one airline under the same ticket?
Yes, and it's both. It's American Airlines all the way.
Except for two of us, Chip, myself and Sarah. We're coming. We're coming on the 21st instead of with you guys.
Yeah, but it's all still on the same. Your entire itinerary is on the same ticket.
Got it.
Yeah, and it's all American Airlines for you, Kathy, as well.
Yep.
Okay, that should be fine. All right, I went ahead and made a list of documents to carry to Cuba, and I relied on things that we've been talking about, and also the tips and program from that Ebony gave us, which is really good. It's in one of the emails. If you like, I'll send it out. There's a lot of good information there you might want to take a look at. But a passport, the original, make a couple paper copies so that you've got those with you. I put a photo on my phone. Of course, you need your C card if you're diving. If you purchased any health insurance, I would bring down the confirmation of benefits. I'd also make sure I know my airline confirmation, either some sort of hard copy of something or just the flight numbers and the confirmation code should be fine. Your e-visa confirmation. Did everybody get their e-visa confirmation? I know that there was a little bit of issues with.
I don't think I've gotten it, but I'm.
Have you filled out your e-visa on form yet?
No, so I probably haven't gotten it then.
You'll get it once you complete it.
I heard it was pretty immediate. I was waiting till this call to do it, to spend the extra $180 or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Then once it's 7 days out, we get this viajeros visa or whatever, or entry statement, and then whatever confirmation you get, print that out too, so you have it. For the Havana portion,
buy a printer then, huh? I don't have a printer.
Well, it's handy to have it printed, but if you can't, it's all right. What you need is the QR code, so you can just save it to your phone as a PDF or even a screenshot.
Bring the PDFs in, Dan. We'll get it printed for you.
Okay.
Okay. Arriving in Havana, you've already filled out the custom Latin travel forms. Both of them are online, and you should have gotten a confirmation, and you can print out those confirmations if you like, or save them on your phone somewhere, so that you'll have those. And then for All Star Avalon, there is an online trip application which you complete. You don't need to do anything with that, but if you haven't done it, please go ahead and do that. And then there's a travel affidavit and certificate of participation, which I sent you download links for. They're on our website, or actually in my Dropbox account. So you can just click on those and pull them off and run them down. But I don't think anything else that you need.
Those are on the boat. Okay, so I've done the Havana portion stuff. Where is the stuff for the boat diving? It's in a separate email, the travel affidavit.
Yeah, it's an email I sent out Monday.
Okay, I haven't looked.
And it's got the links all in there. Okay.
Okay.
And I'll send you this checklist too, so that you'll have that. And we'll be staying in touch as we get near that 7 days to make sure you get your statement done there. And if any questions come up, please let me know, and we'll see what we can do there.
Hey, Chip.
Yes, sir.
So we've done all those forms, but the certificate of travel, it says, I got this little piece of paper and it says you've got it, but it says they're going to email. It says, let me see. Thanks. Wait a minute.
You've completed the
You've
form.
completed the form. You should receive a copy of the PDF from your email. All right. I've tried 5 times. I have not gotten a copy of this certificate.
The email came right after once you got that acknowledgement that you showed, the email popped right into my inbox, and we printed that out.
Yeah.
This is Judy. I was able to get mine immediately. Mick didn't. And we just contacted, I replied to Jocelyn and she had somebody send it to us. So let custom, Latin travel know, and they could give you a copy. For whatever reason, he didn't get his. I got mine right away.
All right, and so I did that. I sent an email to Jocelyn. I never heard back from her.
Okay.
Oh,
She's
no.
ignoring you.
Oh, so I don't know what's going on. I've got everything else but that. I will.
Well, Doc, if you send it again and copy me with it, and we'll take it offline here, and then I can double check, and I'll make sure that you get what you need, and I'll verify that when you've got it, you really do have it, and that sort of stuff. Okay.
Yeah, I've tried many times. All right, that's great.
It might still be there, but we just haven't found
And
it.
Cherry, I went to spam. I went to spam and trash, whatever.
All right, thank you.
That's it.
Question
We'll figure it out.
travel affidavit. Because we're traveling under 2 different programs, do we need to have one travel affidavit for support of the Cuban people and one travel affidavit for humanitarian programs?
Well, you do, okay. The one that you filled out with Custom Latin Travel online and that email that you got back was in fact that travel affidavit. It's different terminology, but the same thing. And then the description was also there as well. So it's in that email, so you'll have it in case you need it. I printed mine off.
Okay.
Okay. But again, if you have any issues, give me a call and let's get online and we'll figure out what it is and make sure that you've got it. I know this is a little bit more complex than many of our trips in terms of documentation. But once we get there, I think it'll all just be.
We can do it. We can do it.
We can do it. Okay.
I
Okay.
have a question for Ebony. It's more of a statement. I have a very severe beef allergy. I'll be bringing EpiPens with me. I just want to make sure that I would have some alternative.
Beef, did you say?
Beef, yes.
Yes, no, you absolutely have lots of alternatives. In the meat family, pork and chicken, and they have lamb as well. They've lots of different types of fish, the marvelous seafood, all of the lobster and shrimp. You'll have lots of options.
Okay, just that it's
and I'll
it's
make
not
sure that the kitchen knows not to
yes,
mix pans and things.
yeah, it's not pretty when it happens.
Well, while we're on that
Also-
subject, I did get a request today from Beth, who had not contacted me previously, saying that she needs something gluten-free. Is that okay with everybody? Is that any issues for you, Ebony or Kevin?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, as long as just communicating with the crew on board, and kind of before every meal, just check, with them to make sure what's gluten-free and what's not. But there's going to be a lot of, rice, beans, proteins that'll be, free of any kind of gluten or anything. But yeah, just, chat with the crew when you board and then check with them before each meal. So.
I've updated your spreadsheet, and I'll resend that to you with it updated. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see the flight departures. We've got everybody going at different times here. Let's see what's happening. Not every different time, mostly the same time. Let's see if I've got it here. Flight departures. The group is departing from Richmond at 6:45 in the morning, and Robin is departing the same day on an individual ticket, but at 6:45 in the morning. Sarah and Kathy are on the same flight, but 3 days later. And so the question might be there for this group is whether they might want to do a park and fly. I'm down in Miami right now, so Priscilla and I will be meeting you guys in I'm not in Miami, actually in Deerfield, north of there, but I'll be meeting you guys at the airport. I should be at the airport by 10:30. So you'll been there for maybe, an hour, but I'll catch up with you and then we'll be there for the flight. But I did take a look, and here's some of the where are they? Come on. Here's some
I'm
parking
staying
spots.
at Sheraton.
Okay.
I've stayed there before. It's, really close to the airport. It's a very short shuttle ride. And I don't know, for a week, I think it's like $100 to park the car.
Okay. These are some that I identified that have Sheraton ride near the airport. There's the Sheraton that you talk about. I'm a Marriott guy. There's Courtyard. There's Hampton Inn, Fairfield. Does anybody want me to send out this list?
What is that for? What night?
Well, you can call and arrange however you choose to do it. I would normally want to get there the night before so that I could get up and have them shuttle me to the airport because
Oh, you're talking about Richmond.
I want to be there, yeah, by 4:30, not later than 5 o'clock. I probably more like 4:30 in the morning when it first opens. So I don't really want to leave Charlottesville at 2:30 in the morning or whatever it is. Get up at 1:30 in the morning in order to make the trip. So that you can also make arrangements to stay on the way back if you don't. You're going to get in kind of late. You could spend the night there and then drive back the next day. But I just want to throw that out. And if you guys want to communicate, I'll put together a roster with everybody's phone number and email address so that you guys want to communicate with anybody you can, and just so let you know where you are. I'll also try to contact everybody the night before and make sure everybody's copacetic and got their act together and don't need any help.
Hey, Chip.
Yes, sir.
So I checked on Park and Fly and it's fine for going there, but our flight doesn't get back till like 12:30 on the way back.
Right.
They don't have shuttle. Those Park and Fly, none of them have a shuttle between 12 and 4.
Yeah, we
So,
usually Uber.
oh, you could Uber it.
Yeah, that's what
yeah,
we have or gotten a taxi or something. But yeah.
Okay.
Great.
Yeah. As long as you do that, right.
If people are interested in it, first of all, besides Dan, has anybody booked a hotel for Richmond already?
I
Yeah, we're
Yes,
booked.
we have.
Kathy, I have a hotel room at the Best Western the night before, which allows you to park for free, and the shuttle is for free. And then on the return trip, getting in at midnight, the shuttle will come get me, bring me to the hotel. I stay overnight and then leave in the morning.
Like, what was that hotel?
Best Western, you
Best
said?
Western.
I'm sorry, again, please.
Best Western.
Best Western.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Check that out. We can always change.
And so they would say
Sometimes they're good.
you would call them when you arrived back in Richmond, even though it was after midnight.
Right. You just call the lobby and they send the shuttle over to get you.
Okay.
Is that Best Western where? I mean,
Sandton, I think, is the actual community.
what'd you say?
It's got to be in the neighborhood.
Sandstone?
Yeah, it's right across the street from the airport.
Yeah. Okay. Best Western. We'll check that out because we can always change that.
All right,
We're
thank
an
you.
hour and 15 minutes, so we just drive both ways.
Gotcha. Yeah. All right. Thank you on that one. We'll check that out.
Sure.
Okay. I've pretty much covered everything that was on my agenda. Does anybody have any questions for me or Kevin or Ebony?
How many total people are in our group?
We have a total of 26, and then the two of them are joining us down there. There'll be 20, actually 20, one of them's not going, should be 24 will be arriving down there or be flying out of Richmond that day, or
So we're the whole boat.
Well, pretty
Yeah.
much that. Kevin, you want to speak to that?
Yeah, I think there's about maybe it's 6 or 8 other people at the moment. I know there's still a couple open cabins.
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
Okay.
And we're on the 4, correct?
correct.
On the 4 or the 3?
The 4.
Okay. Okay, sounds good.
So, question for Kevin on the boat. Are the cabins for two people cabins?
So
Yes.
the cabins, yeah, I mean they vary, but most of them are capable of either twin or king accommodations. So, based on the data, the passenger list that I've received from Chip, we'll have everyone's cabins kind of sorted as he's provided. So
I
Okay.
can get with you on that. Let me see here. Try to.
yeah, I think
I just wondered if you did cabin assignments.
I haven't signed them yet. I'm going to get with Kevin later on to actually
Oh,
find out exactly which ones are. But I've got Mark. I've got you and Dan sharing a cabin.
okay.
Dan Schmider, okay. Now, if you want a single supplement, you can do that too. Kevin will be happy to take some extra money, right?
always.
Anything else that we want to talk about?
I've never been on a liveaboard. Any suggestions or things to look up for that?
Well, I would take a look at the All-Star site first of all, and go through it. You can get a chance. You can see some of the pictures of the place and what's going on. It's all very relaxed. You can take your shoes off, and you're not going to put them on again until you get off the boat. It's very casual. You get into your tender, and when you get back on the boat, they'll take you have your gear for you, and they'll give you a nice pretty towel to dry off with, and you probably have some sort of snack available or lunch. And you're never more than maybe 50 or 60 steps from the boat, or from the food, or from the beer, or from your cabin. It's like it's all very, very easy.
Yeah.
It's the most catered type of diving you can possibly do. I've been on a number of all-star vessels, including the Kuan Law, the Aquacat, Blackbeards. Okay, so and they all treat you really, really great.
So
And
Kevin, may I just ask then, on the liveaboard, do you supply shampoo and like a hand soft soap or?
Correct, yeah. So in the cabins there will be shampoo, body wash, in your bathrooms, hand soap. Yeah.
You must have a towel.
What about things for motion sickness, like ginger ale or like things like that?
So motion sickness, if you're taking something like Dramamine, Bonine, things like that, one thing that a lot of people miss is that it's recommended you start taking it the night before you get on the boat. So that would be something you take it, that night before, take it again the day of. Ginger ale, ginger candy, candied ginger, whatever. Some people, like it. There's not a huge amount of time aside from you board the boat Saturday and you are driving out to the marine park where they're going to moor up. You're going to be on, the Avalon and stationary the majority of the time. So while it is a liveaboard, it is a bit different. Whereas most liveaboards are moving around to the different dive sites because you're either diving from the main boat or you're trying to reach other areas. But Avalon is going to go more up inside the mangroves. So mangroves knock out any wave action whatsoever. That's why they're used around the world as erosion or hurricane kind of protection. But inside those mangrove channels, it's going to be flat calm. When you're driving out to the dive site for a brief period, maybe it gets a little bumpy, but it's not much typically, and you'll be in the water before you know it. So yeah, it's
Just look at the land.
yeah, look at the horizon.
Well, you've got plenty of appliances and whatnot that you can try and use, and Kathleen's got some wonderful glasses. If you really want to look goofy, you can wear some glasses, and it's supposed to take you really great, right, Kathleen?
Spectacular. I will have extra.
Well, if you're interested in any of that stuff, I know that Chris and Kathleen have got the bands at the shop, and she'll tell you where to get the glasses and other stuff that you might need to make sure that you're comfortable. But as Kevin said, the boat should be pretty darn calm. It's hardly going to, unless you have some wind and it maybe like swings a little bit from side to side. It won't be any hurtling waves that you're trying to cross over or anything.
Be more like a hammock.
Like a hammock. Okay. All right. Anything else? So I can let these folks go, but happy to answer any questions.
Nope.
No?
Thanks for pulling it together, Chip.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
Now
wait.
I'll
Wait a minute, Sherry has a question.
yeah, go ahead.
I'm over 65, so the person who was the person that talked about the Harrisonburg and vaccinations, and Chuck, could you just give me a little more? Is it a health department there, or do we
Yes,
need
there is, but too late.
Okay, because it's booked out?
They actually made a special date for us tomorrow. It had to be ordered in advance. And, Passport Health can deal it up right away. Costco also had it.
Huh.
So if you are concerned with that, you could call Costco and see how quickly they can get you in. But it's a 1 week incubation, or I think you need to get it 2 weeks before you leave.
That's what they suggest. Yeah.
Okay.
But I can give you my phone number if you want to call me and we can discuss.
Okay, I'll take that.
It's 540-490-2625.
490-2625.
Right, but I talked to Costco, but you're still looking at that price at Passport Health.
Yeah.
It is not. It won't be that. It will be the same price as $300 a pop at Costco in Harrisonburg. And I don't know where you guys are, but you might be able to find it at Costco. They seem to stock it. A lot of this is for military. So you may be able to find it at Costco wherever you guys are.
Charlottesville. We're in Nelson County, so Charlottesville's our closest one there.
Yeah, but honestly, if we were sitting here thinking about it, and if I for the days we are in Havana, mosquito spray and being careful, I wouldn't sweat it.
Yeah, we were not sweating it. Now I'm sweating it.
Don't sweat it.
Something's going to get us.
Spray. I'll bring my spray. I'll bring $200 worth of spray.
Yeah, there you go. If you'd like to call me, please do.
Okay, thank you so much.
I want to get rid of the perfume.
Okay, let's go ahead and conclude this for this evening. It was a pleasure talking with you. I know I'm going to look forward to seeing you guys all again and on the trip. I'm excited that it's going to be a really special trip. I know it's a little bit more complex and worrisome getting down there and all that stuff with all the forms and everything. But I sure once we get through that, as Dave said, we will survive. Right, we'll make it happen.
Nah, we'll do more than survive.
It's going to be great.
Man, it's exciting. Thank you.
If you have any questions or whatever, don't hesitate to email me or call or text or whatever. I'm delighted to help in any way I possibly can. I know Chris and Kathleen are as well.
All right.
I would just like to echo Chip that it is, I know, sometimes overwhelming with all the paperwork and then all of the bad news, but I can assure you that you're going to have a great time. I'm here for any questions you might have. Chip's going to set up the WhatsApp group. You can send me messages there or privately or my email. I'm an open book, and I welcome all questions. And any worries, I'm here for you.
Ebony, it was really great to meet you. It's nice to be able to put a face for someone we're going to actually see when we're there. So thank you very, very much. Okay.
My pleasure.
Kevin,
thank you for having me.
Kevin, thank you very much. We really appreciate it. We know
Yeah,
that
of course.
you're
Y'all have a
out there.
great trip,
Take care.
and you can give us a call here at All Star, or shoot us an email if you have any questions too. So,
I hear room on the boat.
Ebony,
yeah.
Ebony,
I'm
can I
actually
get-
going to be on Cap Paloo that week, so I've got to run a marine bio trip that week. So,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. See everybody in a few weeks.
Okay. See you guys. See you guys soon.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Good night.
See you. All right. Bye-bye.